That's our World Series trophy.
It was the greatest race that I'd ever won.
Off the wall again! On a four sideways contact!
You finally won the World 100, the biggest race of the year, and it's just an unreal feeling.
When you rolled over that hill, it stands for something.
The best track requires the best drivers, and Eldora has that too, especially in September for its biggest race.
Larson wins 7 straight!
He's won in just about everything you could imagine.
What he did was something you will never, ever see again.
$273,000 this week for big, sexy Brandon Overton. They are not going to catch Superman. In the 49th running of the biggest dirt race in the world, car 49 will do it. Jonathan Davenport wins his 3rd World 100.
For the first time ever, we'll see not one, but 2 World 100s run in the same weekend.
No matter what you've done in the past, you'll remember you were a World 100 winner. What any dirt late model racer dreams of, that's the top of our game.
There are not many things in life that last 50 years, be it marriage or partnerships or business relationships, you name it. 5 decades is a long time for anything to endure. And I think had you told Earl and Bernice Baltus 50 years ago that their idea for a mega stock car event at the time, paying an unheard of $4,000 to win, would still not only be alive, but be thriving 50 years later, I think even Earl and Bernice might have had their own suspicions, but somehow, someway, here we are. I am Michael Rigsby with Flow Racing, sitting where I will be all weekend long for the 51st and 50th World 100s on our brand new set in Turn 2 at the most famous dirt track in the world, Eldora Speedway, where we have planned for you a weekend like never before. Our biggest production that we've ever had in the history of Dirt on Dirt and Flow Racing, as I will be spearheading things from this central hub. And what a weekend it is. As I mentioned, 49 times we have crowned a World 100 champion, and we get to hand out for the 50th and 51st time the Fame Globe Trophy. This set for me will serve as the spot where I will have former World 100 winners, analysis from experts, highlights recapping the weekend up to that point, and so much more. For 4 straight nights at what I would consider the most important weekend in the history of Eldora Speedway. This is the granddaddy of them all. This isn't some random big race from Eldora. You see here a piece that we put together this week on Flow Racing, a slideshow of all 50 former winners that have ever graced the Eldora Victory Lane stage, all the way from 1971 until 2019. Of course, last year there was no World 100, which makes this year even more special. And many of these former winners we will hear from this weekend, as well as, let's be honest, some of these images are just the most famous in dirt late model history. Joining me on the set every night on the pre-race show is a guy that was with us during last year's fanless events, and he performed so well, people were calling him the Peyton Manning of Flow Racing. People were clamoring to have him back. It is Crossville, Tennessee's Randy Weaver. Randy, you're one of those guys that I refer to as dirt late model to the bone. As you rolled into this place, you and I have talked about it a little bit. There is a certain magic in the air for this weekend that I'm not sure we've ever had at Eldora.
No, you're right. Magical is a word to explain it. I mean, just coming in and seeing all the campers again, the fans lined up, crossing the road. I mean, we sit out there for 15 minutes just to let everybody by, and believe it or not, I was happy to sit there. So very magical, and looking forward to what it's got to come.
You've been combing the pits a little bit. Do you think the drivers have a sense of how important this weekend is at Eldora? I can say it, you can say it. You think the guys down there get it? This is a different World 100 weekend.
It is, and you can see it. I mean, I talked from Brandon Overton to Rick Eckert, and Rick had told me one time, said, I was first time here, and he said, don't be nervous, it's just another racetrack. So I asked him why he lied to me. But with the fans and everybody here, and it being the 50th and 51st, it's absolutely the biggest deal that's went on here ever.
You mentioned Brandon Overton. Of course, he's fresh off what he did here in June. I've heard a lot of fans say, and even a driver told me this, Jonathan Davenport Kyle Larson, Brandon Overton. Forget everybody else. Those are the only 3 guys that can win. Is that true in your opinion?
That is not true. I mean, those guys are definitely on top of their game. They're ate up with talent, good equipment, good backing. But there's some good cars down there and guys that's got some good experience that runs here more than some of those guys. So I look for it to be kind of a toss-up. Not that they won't be in the hunt, but I think there's going to be 1 or 2 that surprises us this weekend.
Now, we'll have plenty more with Randy Weaver all weekend long from our set over here in Turn 2. But one of the things that make our Eldora coverage so special is the fact that we have the best broadcast team in all of America, in my opinion. That's James right. Essex paired with Dustin Jarrett. Guys, take it from the tower.
Well, thanks so much for the kind words, Michael Rigsby. It is absolutely our pleasure to be back here at the 51st World 100. James is... It looks like I got to anchor this for a minute or two. James is battling a short. Your mic cord shrunk in the last 3 months.
I found my headset. Now I've got my microphone.
Was missing.
We're good to go.
And there is. I can vouch for the folks watching at home. James has Coke in his hand, and it is just a can of Coke. I actually watched him open it. I have got some Coke in my cup as well.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Will, I'm used to having Kevin over here. Now I got Will, so it's all good.
I thought you were ready.
We're
hey,
down there, and there's the Silver Shark, and even, there you have it.
That's right. Hey, we're glad that you're with us, ladies and gentlemen, for what is truly going to be, in my personal opinion, one of the biggest weeks in all of dirt late model racing, and we are happy to anchor and guide you through the next 4 days of racing action for the 51st and the 50th World 100s. And James, we are joined by our 2 esteemed colleagues that'll be in the infield all weekend long. The voice of America's dirt track, Fairbury Speedway, Mike Norris, my good friend and doppelganger, Ben Shelton. Guys, welcome back to Eldora.
Well, it is amazing to be here. We came here in June. Well, I say we came here, Dustin and James. Mike Norris, he wasn't on parole yet. I think he was still serving a little time in the pen. But no, he had a wedding to go to. But we were back then. We had fans at the Dirt Late Model Dream, and now we come back here the first time in over 730 days. We're going to have any kind of World 100 action, and we've got fans in the stands. And I tell you what, Mike, pulling in today, seeing all the campers rolling in, my heart was pumping before I ever got in the gate.
You're definitely right. Everything was missing. We came back last year. I know when there wasn't fans here, it was an eerie feeling. It was dark. It was scary, to be honest with you, when we were here. And it was crazy. When I came in here today, the smell of the food, the pizza burgers, the toilet water, the $2 Busch Lights, and the best fans in the world. We're back. This is it for the biggest weekend ever here at Eldora.
Now, you didn't smell the toilet water. Did you taste one, though? Have you had a toilet water yet today?
I may have sampled 1 or 2, yes.
Well, quality control. Well, I tell you what, Mike, we've been talking as we walk through the pits, and obviously you've got the veterans here. But you and I were talking. We got a lot of first-timers, and, man, you got a nice little gang from your backyard over at Fairbury that are parked on the back row.
Yeah, I got to send a big shout-out to Mike Provenzano. He's here for the first time, and we got some other great,
Jeff Curl,
yeah, and
Dale Markham's here for the first time, yeah.
And another driver we got to send to hunt the front guys. And Joseph Joyner's also here, and Austin Kirkpatrick. That's another guy to keep your eye on, car number 11. He has been waiting for this for a long time. He built that car in his garage, and he is ready to go. He said, I'm not going to win one, I'm going to win both World 100s this weekend.
Well, he came to the dream. He didn't have the luck he wanted. He's back. And, oh, yeah, by the way, Dustin and James, there's another rookie here at the World 100. It goes, I think his name's like Kyle Larson. Does that sound right, Dustin? He's going to be in action tonight and tomorrow night as well.
I think I've heard of that guy before a time or two. James.
The last time he was here, he was on the stage, wasn't he? in July for the second Kings Royal that day.
He's won the Kings Royal. He's won the Chili Bowl. He's won the Prairie Dirt Classic. Can he possibly add? Yes.
Knoxville.
Yes, Sprint Car Nationals. Yes. Can he possibly add a World 100 crown to his belt here?
Sure.
Tomorrow night.
Sure.
He won't be able to run the Friday, Saturday.
He won't be able to run Friday, Saturday. He's got a cup race on Saturday night in Richmond, Virginia, but
not Richmond, Indiana.
Over 70 victories since last year. Can you believe that? In a midget, in a sprint car, in a late model, in a NASCAR Cup car. What am I missing?
Well, guys, that's across like 10 divisions. Yeah, I think he won a water balloon race at the fair last week. So
that's right.
I dropped him a text the other day. I said, how many wins this year? And he said 24. And we know he's won Cup races. We know he's won in the sprint car and the midget and the late model. So we know at least 4 different divisions, and very impressive. And hey, guys, he's got one chance to get it done. And everybody kind of gave him a hard time. He kind of went backwards in the dirt late model dream features when he was here back in June. Not very often you see him go backwards. We'll see what he can do this weekend. But Dustin and James, as we throw it back up to you, of course, Brandon Overton, I think he's got to be the guy with the biggest bullseye on his back as we come into the week.
Well, he was undefeated here back in June. Ben, I got a good story to tell you too about texting drivers and their win totals, because I know that we like to do that, and you're absolutely one of the best at it. And I texted Kyle Strickler on Monday and said, how many wins? And the last time I texted him was actually back here in June. He said, still at 5, LOL. He said, hoping to get a few more this week. You had texted him the very next day, and I think that you had said, hey, are you at 8 wins this year? And he said, that sounds good. And he actually screenshot that and sent it to me. So he said that he kind of poked fun at us a little bit and himself a little bit, and said that 8 sounded better than 5, so that's the number we were to go with this week.
Well, I do feel good about the 8 and the 2 late model wins. That's what he had in June, and he probably wishes it was double that. But, guys, he has had horrific luck since really about the middle part of the year. It's gone downhill for him. And back at the Dream, as we saw Dustin, he destroyed a car early on, had to go to a backup car. He's going to be looking for better luck here tonight.
And he's in a Longhorn. He was in a Longhorn here Sunday for the Baltus Classic, and again this weekend. And you feel like a kid on Christmas morning still, even though this is Wednesday. We're used to that. This is just awesome, isn't it?
I told someone earlier that and I think it was on the Dirt on Dirt / Flow Racing video cast earlier this week, that sometimes for these big events, I don't want to say that we fabricate our excitement, but for this event, we certainly did not have to. One guy that was very excited here at Eldora Speedway, James, back in 1999. You know who off the top of your head, you know who the 1999 World 100 winner was?
The Kentucky Colonel.
It was the Kentucky Colonel, Steve Francis, and I believe that he is either with our very own Michael Rigsby, or he is very close to getting to our very own Michael Rigsby.
He has made his way to me, guys. And if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. If you want the straight scoop on what's happening in dirt late model racing, Steve Francis is the guy that you want to talk to. It also just so happens the Kentucky Colonel is the 1999 World 100 winner and joins me now on the Turn 2 set. Steve, of all the former World 100 winners that we'll talk to this week and that'll join us at Eldora, you're probably still the closest connected that it's not currently racing as the Lucas Oil Series Tech Director, but you also have a long family history at Eldora. When you roll over Highway 118 or Highway 127, as you told me on your way up here, do you still get that magical Eldora feeling that you got back in the day?
Well, I do for the World 100. It is a special event. You're coming here. You're going to see a lot of people you only see once or twice a year, maybe. It is a special place, and it's just kind of a magical thing. It is, I've said this a lot of times, and you and I have had this conversation, it is the biggest win of my career. But this place has also given me the biggest heartbreaks of my career, too. I was leading the 07 Dream like lap 90 or 95 from like 14th. And they have a restart, and Jimmy passes me right at the end of the race, and I get back to him, but he wins, I run second. We were leading the Dream 80, 90 laps in, cut down a right rear tire, led the whole race. So this place gives and it takes away right back to just as fast.
The World 100 now, you're 50, 51 basically here the same weekend. Why do you think this event and this race has stood the test of time?
It's advanced with the sport. It went to the 3-day format when the 3-day format became popular. It went from the old traditional qualify the fastest, so many lock them in, to the 6 heat race things, to all that. It was also the first race that continually upped the purse every year. First place money for years and years, and then it got figured out that, hey, it needs money in the middle of the field too. So they were able to put some money back in the middle of the field, and those things have kept this event, plus just the atmosphere. We talk about the Fairbury atmosphere, the Boone, Iowa atmosphere. This whole community, whole area around here gets behind this event more than any other event that I know of.
Can we discuss the paint scheme and the video that we're seeing right now? That is your best paint scheme ever, by the way. That red and yellow car, your opinion does not matter to me. That's your best paint scheme. Am I right or not?
No, that is the car that kind of, I guess if somebody goes back and recognize, that's the car they recognize me by, is that red and yellow car. That was just, that night there winning this thing with my brother here and all that, that was just a really, really special time. We had led the Dream I just talked about that this very same year and was leading it when we cut the tire down with that very same car and motor combination.
How different Eldora in 99, Eldora in 2021, how different are the racetracks?
the racetrack itself, not much different. The race cars, 100, not even comparable. You know, these race cars now, those race cars there had a lot of finesse about them. You drove them kind of right front wheel first all the time. These cars here, you drive really, really hard, really, really aggressive. The cars are stuck harder to the racetrack. Probably more comparable to a sprint car now than in any time in history.
You see I miss the old Victory Lane stage as you see it here. I want Roger to bring back the red carpet in the steps. I mean, that was, how special was that climb up that red carpet to those steps?
Well, it puts a lump in your throat when you drive across those scales, you know, and you've just won the World 100. You know, I think this year, don't quote me on the exact number, but 220 or 30 race cars there that year. And to be able to win that, and I told you earlier, I think I've been at every one of these World 100s except for one since since Charlie Hughes won it like 76 or 77, whatever that year was. So I've been here, I've played in these hills back here in these caverns with actually what is Bobby Pierce's mom and her brother Donnie and Scott and Stacey James and, you know, Don Patrick, which is Pat Patrick's daughter. You know, us as kids, we grew up around the Florence, Kentucky area and playing back here in these hills and stuff as kids.
I know you talk about it, that you don't miss racing, you don't miss retiring, but a guy can win 2 Globe trophies. I want you to pretend that you're 1994 Steve Francis for a second, and I told you, Steve, you could win 2 Globes in 1 week. What would 1994 Steve Francis say about that?
Again, a different area. It would have just flipped you out because a different area, you know, at that time you had one, I think when I won it, it was 32, 33,000, something like that. Well, now 33,000 is 3 times a month. That's the big difference is amount of zeros at the end of the year. You know, there's so many big races this year. This year been worse than most with, you know, everybody being shut down so much last year. You know, we have 2 dreams. We have 2 World 100s. We've had a million other races pop up this year that, you know, have made a change, but have changed that atmosphere. So comparing the 2 times is hard to do because there's so much more opportunity now than there was then.
He is the 1999 World 100 winner, one of the best guys in the history of dirt late model racing, and our first former winner that will join us over here on the Turn 2 set. We'll throw it down to Vince Shelton now. Steve Francis, thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you.
Well, we're down here with Kyle Bronson. Kyle, you've got a very special graphic scheme on this race car this weekend. Tell us what you got.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty awesome to support all the drivers, and Jack Nolan, you know, he did a lot of amazing stuff for all these guys that drove his car, so it's pretty awesome to honor him and all these drivers, and really looking forward to all these races this week.
Your uncle Wayne Hammond, team owner, he drove for him. And of course, Jack Nolan had a lot of guys like Jack Hottenschild, a host of others, Jack Hewitt, that drove the race car. To carry this wrap into battle, what does it mean to you?
Oh, yeah, you know, that's pretty awesome. He has some very talented guys driving his cars, and I'm actually a little nervous here. You know, I don't want to let these guys down. About half of them guys probably won races here at Eldora, so, you know, we're going to be up on the wheel here, and hopefully we can park all them guys in victory lane one more time.
One other thing, it doesn't say Kyle Bronson on the roof. What does it say on that race car?
Oh, we got Dave Steele on one side and Wayne Hammond on the other. It's pretty damn awesome.
Well, Kyle Bronson, he's going to get in the number 66, guys, as he gets ready for battle. We're going to throw it down to Mike Norris. He's caught up with the Earl Baltus Classic winner.
Yes, guys, thank you very much, Ben. We're down here with Spencer Hughes. Spencer, I tell you what, Sunday a big win for you. You're just a youngster out here at Eldora. Talk us through how Sunday went.
Oh, you know, it definitely went good. The racetrack was a little bit different than I think we've seen the Eldora in the past, but we just haven't made the right decision right there and had a lot of stuff go our way in that feature too. So, you know, it just definitely helps, and hopefully gave us a little bit of boost of confidence going into this long week of racing.
Well, a lot of young guys that come out here show a little bit of nerves. You got that first victory, Eldora victory at that, under your belt. How does it make you feel? A lot of confidence coming into the weekend?
Yeah, definitely, but at the same time, you know, this especially you got a lot of cars here and a lot of really good cars too. You know, there's a lot of people here that could walk away with a Globe this week. So it'll be tough, but it definitely makes us, you know, feel better about it, knowing that we have come up here and run good. And you know, definitely like at the Dream, we came in this deal real fresh with you know, Craig and them and this Longhorn. So now we got a lot of nights under our belt and just got to do everything right.
But I tell you what, some fans up there looking for a young man to root for. Tell them why Spencer Hughes would be good.
I mean, I guess that's up for them to decide, but, you know, we're just down here. It's me and pretty much 2 of my buddies. We're just out here living our dream and, you know, just trying to race for a living. So just can't thank Craig Sims enough for for letting us do this. You know, my family, my mom and dad, my sister and grandmother, everybody back home, they watch us every night when we're out here on the road racing. So, you know, just thank you for all the support back home, too.
Well, young man that gets up on the wheel, keep your eyes on number 11, Spencer Hughes, Ben.
Well, Chris Madden, you ran second back at the Dirt Late Model Dream, the 26th Dirt Late Model Dream. You led. What did you learn from that experience to come back and try to get your first Globe?
We was, you know, real good in the feature there. We got too tight at the end, and obviously Brandon was able to drive back by us, but we struggled early, and hopefully we figured out a few things to help us early and help us get us a little better starting position.
You've never got one of the big wins here at Eldora. You've won prelims. What's the biggest thing that you feel like you got to do this weekend if you're going to get at least one Globe, maybe two?
We got to definitely make sure we start up toward the front and, you know, be able to take care of our equipment and be there at the end.
What does Eldora mean to Chris Madden?
A lot. I love to get one before the end of my time comes.
He's going to be in car 44, 5 wins on the year. He'll go after number 6 tonight. We'll throw it back up top to Michael Rigsby.
Ben Chilton, thank you very much. Randy, I wanted to get some final thoughts before we throw it over to James and DJ for the actual broadcast tonight. You combed the pit area earlier. Give me some of those news, notes, and nuggets that you picked up.
Well, some I forgot to mention earlier. Some of the news is, you know, the guys really are more focused this weekend because we talked about it being magical. It's actually historic because we're going to crown the 51st World 100 winner before the 50th. So I'm not for sure what means the most there, but it's definitely something that's different. And probably some of the biggest news is I talked to, again, Big Sexy Brandon Overton, and they took that car home from here and just covered it up, and all they done is put new sides on it and brought it back. So he's feeling really confident. Sometimes that works, sometimes it don't, but you definitely can't count him out.
I know the Hoosier tire situation has been a hot topic in racing all season long. It's also affecting the World 100 this weekend. Give the fans at home an idea of kind of what's going on with the tires.
Well, in the last few months, it's just been tough with the tire shortage. So, but here for a major event like this, they can only get 5 tires a day. Well, that's okay, I guess, but then I talked to the Hoosier guys, and they're only getting 4 a day. They do not have a left front tire to sell any team here. So the teams kind of already had to have some stuff in place to be ready for that. And we're waiting on another shipment of tires, and hopefully it gets here. If not, they said they can sell for 2 days, and who knows after that.
What do you see when you look at the racetrack right now? They no secret, last Sunday night for the Baltus Classic, it was wet. What do you see when you look at it now?
Well, I actually got to talk to one of your guys up your way, Bobby Pearson, which I've seen him. It don't matter if it's rough or just long as it's wide open. Yeah. But he even had a little concern and had some good ideas of what he thought happened. And but the track condition today, definitely, I walked down there and looked it over, talked to some guys that had a little bit to do with the prep. And I look for it to be the old World 100 type track, really smooth and fast and racy.
Last thing real quick, did anything surprise you in the pits or anything the fans at home might be surprised about that you learned down there earlier?
Not really. The biggest thing was just how everybody was really focused about the doubleheader, and they know how much that means. And, you know, everybody in this pit or it's ever raced, they want that World 100 trophy. They trade all the other ones for it. I've been fortunate enough to win 380-something, and I'd give them all for one of them. So I just think the focus is really there, and they actually realize what's up for bid, and it's going to be intense for sure.
We will have that analysis from Randy Weaver all weekend long over here in our Turn 2 set. James and DJ, the 51st World 100 begins with you guys in the tower. The show is yours.
Hey, real quick, Michael and Randy, one thing that I have noticed too, and I want to see if you guys have noticed this, is just the number for the fans watching at home. To put this in perspective, Michael, the number of people here, not just right now, but I mean at noon, and when they open up the gates in 1 p.m., this place literally crawling with fans, it seemed like.
Per year, where we pull into the grounds and Derek Kessinger and I go, Randy, there's more people here on Wednesday than have ever been here. There's more people here Thursday than have ever been here. I do legitimately believe on Wednesday evening, or even if this was Thursday, there are more people here right now that have been here at this hour on the same day ever before.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. Like I said, when me, my son Cameron, and his buddy come in, we had to stop, let people cross the road. I tell you, I wish they could get a shot of the campgrounds over there. It's amazing just that feel to see that all the fields full, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of people here, and they're ready to watch a good race.
I have been told the Speedy Campground across Highway 118, they're parking in the corn and beans already. It is Wednesday at 6:27, DJ. When we are parking in the corn and beans at 6:27 on Wednesday, we're going to have a hell of a World 100.
It is going to be a good week, fellas. Michael Rigsby, Randy Dreamweaver, thank you so much. James, as our drone shows us here on the screen, look at all the campers there on a Wednesday, and you know that those few empty spaces are going to be absolutely filled come about 48 to 72 hours.
Well, if you remember a year ago, of course, we had the Intercontinental Classic in place of the World 100, and there were like 22 people here, and they were all staff.
Yes.
You know, so we go, you know.
We pulled right into the track itself and parked behind the bleachers in turn 3.
Right. I parked on the helipad once, and that was no. But, you know, one thing is, late model fans, I know they're the best. We agree they're the best.
Without a doubt.
Much respect to the sprint car fans. But DJ, we've got to beat $88,000.
Well, I think we will.
In the 50-50 for the King's Royal.
I think
right?
we will.
We got to do that.
Remember, tomorrow's 50-50 starts at like 35 grand.
Is that tomorrow or Friday?
Friday. I'm sorry.
Friday.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Friday. I thought it was Thursday. If you are watching at home, by the way, on Flow Racing, 2 things. Number 1, tell all your friends that we are live all week on Flow Racing. It is the home for all of the dirt late model crown jewels at Eldora, like the World 100 and the Dirt Late Model Dream, as well as the Gateway Dirt Nationals, the Chili Bowl, the Wild West Shootout, and many, many, many more events, the All-Star Circuit of Champions Sprint Cars, USAC, and so many more. 2, if you are watching from home right now on Flow Racing, James, and you are anywhere in the great state of Ohio, my home state, right here, you can also buy 50-50 tickets.
You're a Jet also. You're a Hauser Jet. You're a Union Local Jet.
We're
it's
both
all
Jets.
good.
Yes.
We're both Jets.
James,
Are you ready?
It is Eldora5050.com.
Eldora5050.com.
If you are in, you got to be in Ohio. If you can go to Eldora5050.com and have the exact same odds to win as anybody here at the racetrack. How do I know that? Because they don't hand you tickets anymore. They actually print tickets out. We can see them right downstairs. Right now, the winner's share of the 50-50 tonight is almost $9,000. We do a brand new 50-50 each and every night. Get them early, get them often. James, first driver out on the track for hot laps, hails out of Mount Holly, North Carolina.
In that Team Zero Bloomquist car, that'll be Chris Ferguson. Again, 80 cars entered here tonight. And we'll have Group A and Group B qualifying. Then we'll split them into heat races and their B mains. And then we'll be set for the 25-lap main events tonight. $10,000 to the winner, Chris Ferguson. And again, thoughts and prayers to Phil Nye Jr. of Diff Tran Machining, passed away a few weeks ago, and a longtime sponsor of Chris Ferguson and the Connor team. There's the number 6 car, the MAV TV Plus Longhorn. That'll be Kyle Larson, the 29-year-old out of Elk Grove, California. Over 70 wins the last 2 years, 46 last year, 24 this year, including midget, sprint car, late model, and cup cars. The 2021 NASCAR Cup regular season champion. Last time he was here, he won the King's Royal. And what a year he has had. Of course, the Prairie Dirt Classic winner at Fairbury. The Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Nationals winner in Tulsa. And just a tremendous season. The Knoxville Sprint Car Nationals champion. Again, he'll be running tonight and tomorrow night due to his Cup commitments. He will not be here for the 50th World 100 because he has a race in Richmond, Virginia on Saturday night. There you go.
We're good.
Always good to see you, my friends. It's about 10, 11 years we've done this now.
We were trying to figure out how many years you and I have announced this together, right? It's 10, maybe 11.
Yes.
And that you and I have done this together, and you did it on your own a few times, and not on your own, but you did
and
it
I did some
before
pit
I was
reporting
here.
a few times as well.
I pit reported, but we're here.
It's hard to hear down there, isn't it?
It is. Yes, it is. It's hard to hear right now. I got to turn the volume up on my end a little bit here. Now that Will has got us hooked up with the headset.
Yeah, I never had headphones back in that day either. I just had a plug in my ear, and you hit them cars and they're loud.
We were talking about the 50-50 earlier.
Yeah.
The winner of the highest late model 50-50 in Eldora history is on the track right now, James. Did you mention that?
That is Jimmy Sharp Jr.
Did you mention that when he came out?
No, he didn't.
Ted was delivering. Ted at the Eldora Bar hand delivered a little bit more Coke.
It definitely looks like that. Did you tip your bartender?
I tipped. I got to tip him again. Yes, there's Coke in it. There is Coke in it.
Ricky Thornton Jr. Boy, Heartbreak Hotel the other night, DJ, leading the Baltus Classic. A radiator hose broke in half. And that cost him. I thought maybe he lost an engine, but not. He shut it down in time. And, of course, Spencer Hughes went on. How about Joseph Joyner, HTF Hunt, the front, the capital car?
Let's go.
Right now, the fastest here in Group A hot laps at 16.579. Then it's Ricky Thornton Jr., Kyle Larson, Max Blair in the Viper Risk Management Group 111. Max Blair, and first time he's tried to make the World 100. He was here back in June for the Double Dreams. Then it's Jimmy Mars, Jimmy Sharp Jr. Down to you guys.
You know, it was interesting talking to Max Blair this week. I asked him how many wins he had this year, and he said only 16. And, you know, for him, though, that's a low number. Normally he'll have 30 to 40. And he goes, we've not run anything this year less than 3,000 to win. It's been a lot tougher competition. They're looking to run for Rookie of the Year with the World of Outlaws in 2022.
So Joseph Joyner, they just picked that car back up from Capital. They've been working on it for a good part of the year, DJ. Of course, been running a lot of crates as well and open motor cars. But how about that? World 100 rookie Joseph Joyner out of Milton, Florida, right now the top here in hot laps so far.
16.579. You mentioned Ricky Thornton Jr., Kyle Larson, the next two, as we got another group of drivers making their way out on the track. The biggest box on your screen belongs to the driver out of Las Cruces, New Mexico in the 1ST. That is Johnny Scott in the Rancho Milagro. Eagle Moon Hemp Mesilla Valley Transportation sponsored number 1ST. Just behind of him, or now on your screen, is the driver of the 18X. James had a top 10 run here a few years back. That is Michael Page. Michael Page in the Troy Baird-owned Cove to Coast Marina. Troy Baird TNT Trucking sponsor number 18X. Next driver on the racetrack is the driver of, it looks like, the number 25. That is the high side hustler, Jason Fager. Jason Fager out of Bloomington, Illinois in the Titan Industries Hoker Trucking Floyd's Waste System sponsored number 25. Other drivers on the track for this hot lap session include the driver that hails James out of Wapakoneta, Ohio in the 95J. It's the Jedi, Jerry Bowersock. Jerry Bowersock, a 5-time Eldora Speedway track champion and the Best Performance Motorsports North Star Drilling Frenchtown Trailer Sales sponsored number 95J. Other drivers on the track for this hot lap session include the driver of the number 76, undefeated here back in June. That is Brandon Overton in the Wells Motorsports Big Dog Stump and Tree All-Star Concrete CrossFit Overton sponsored number 76.
$273,000.
Not bad. That's not a bad 4-day stretch.
You remember the only race he lost was the Saturday Night Dream when Kyle Larson beat him in a heat race, right? That's the only time he was beaten all weekend.
That's decent. That's decent. A few other guys.
That's decent, yeah.
A few other guys on the track. Zoinks! James Zoinks! It's
Rutro.
It is Bobby Pierce out of Oakwood, Illinois in the Scooby-Doo paint scheme. Bobby Pierce in the Rio Grande Waste Hooker Trucking Allgaier Incorporated sponsored number 32. James, can you say at some point this weekend we've got to name all the special guests that were on Scooby-Doo, the Harlem Globetrotters, Don Knotts, I think Phyllis Diller was on there, right?
Sandy Duncan, who I had a crush
Duncan
on
was on there. Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
Behind of him,
J.B. Jones from the Monkees.
Yes, this is an all-star group of drivers on the track for this hot lap session. There's Brandon Shepard out of New Berlin, Illinois, in the Rocket Chassis House Car in the Valvoline Swaber Calf Ranches sponsored number 1. Also on the track for this hot lap session, 4-time World 100 champion Scott Bloomquist out of Mooresburg, Tennessee. Scott trying to get the mojo back in the hot rod septic treatment number 0.
Oh, look who's fastest so far, Dustin.
Oh, the show was over.
the show was over.
I'm
not dead yet.
Oh, no. I don't know. He just got passed up by what a group of drivers on the track for this hot lap
Brandon
session.
Shepard, Brandon Overton.
Shep, Overton, Bloomquist, Pierce. A pretty good group of cars right there. Brandon Shepard, quickest in this group right now with a 1.5602. Brandon Overton, second quick with a 1.5705. Scott Bloomquist, third quick with a 1.5741. And Bobby Pierce, fourth quick with a 1:59.71.
DJ, 8 previous winners entered here for this weekend. Jonathan Davenport, of course, he's won 3 out of the last 5 World 100s.
Yes, he has.
And Tim McCready, Bobby Pierce, Scott Bloomquist, Jimmy Owens, John Blankenship, Shane Clinton, Dale McDowell. So 8 former winners trying to go to victory lane and repeat. How about Davenport? 3 out of the last 5 with 3 different car owners. Truly amazing.
Yeah, and let's not forget that Davenport won the Intercontinental Classic last year as well when Kyle Strickler had that last lap heartbreak. Now, James rolling down the back straightaway. That is not a Bill Fry throwback. That is not a Johnny Verdon throwback.
That's Kyle Bronson out of Brandon, Florida. Yes, the Brandon Ford Rocket.
The Jack Noling throwback.
Yes, Jack Noling out of Riverview, Florida. Of course, longtime sprint car owner. And as Ben talked about a while ago, just an unbelievable list of drivers have driven that Quickland car, sprint car for, of course, Wayne Rudeman.
Oh, my. It'll be like
Wayne Rudeman.
Like the time we rattled off everybody that drove the Rat 1.
Yes, so Brad Doty. Of course, Dave Steele, the late Dave Steele, Chuck Amati, Jack Houdenfeld. Wow. Jack Hewitt. Truly amazing. Bobby Alexander, of course, a veteran driver out of Florida. Piloted cars, sprint cars for Mr. Jack Nolan.
Hey, real quick on that
Yes.
too, guys. I didn't realize that Wayne Hammond owned that team, raced a sprint car back in the Thursday Night Thunder days. Wayne won some races at IRP on Thursday Night Thunder. The things you learn when you go around the pit area.
DJ, look who's on the track now. He's back. He was back here for the Baldus Classic.
Cole Trickle?
Hashtag free turbo. He is back. Tyler Erb in the number 1, the best performance car.
Behind of him, James, it is not Tanner English, although you say Tanner English is he's crew chiefing.
Yep,
Yes.
Yep. Jason Riggs.
Not Scott Riggs, it's Jason. Jason Riggs.
Scott's his dad.
Right. Yeah, but Jason is the one driving, not Scott.
Jason's the one driving.
Go ahead, you're on a roll here. Stormy Scott.
There's Stormy Scott, a brand new front clip and rear clip on that car after Port Royal a few weeks ago. The Rancho Milagro Mesilla Valley Transportation Longhorn. His twin brother was out earlier. So right now here in Hot Laps, Group A, it's Brandon Shepard, Brandon Overton, Scott Bloomquist, Bobby Pierce, your top 4. There's Chris Simpson, the 32 car, the Hoker Trucking MB Customs entry. Out of Oxford, Iowa. Such a great list of Iowa drivers. There's another great Iowa driver, Ryan Gustin, the Reaper, the Molly Rocket.
I love
out of Marshalltown, Iowa.
I love Iowa.
It's great. Yeah, you're there more than you are in Ohio.
I'm very close to moving my residency, I think. I'd say my citizenship, but I don't think citizenship is it, right?
No. No, there's Jonathan Davenport. He's not had too bad of a year. Has he 20 wins this year? And that's a Clements-powered car, Longhorn for Lance Landers Motorsports. Again, he's won the World 100 for Kevin Leroy Rumley, for G.R. Smith, who's racing this weekend. He's racing as well, and then Lance Landers, of course. So he will be a threat, obviously, all weekend long. Winner of the Intercontinental Classic here last year.
And he is second quick right now with a 1:57.01. Shep, 1:56.02. JD, 1:57.01. Brandon Overton third. Kyle Bronson fourth quick with a 1:57.12. James and Ryan Gustin, the Reaper out of Marshalltown, Iowa, goes to fifth quick in warm-ups with a 1:5.725.
I can't get used to this Kyle Bronson 66 on my screen here.
You're going to call him Bill Fry.
Bill Fry, Johnny Verdon. Long time.
Maybe Wade Knowles.
Wade Knowles.
Well, we had that discussion up here, James, or Ben.
I did.
DJ.
Maybe even Brian Leslie, the Mississippi driver.
Brian Leslie, oh my, yes. Dill Whittemore, who went on to run ARCA.
I did not. Dill Whittemore would not have been floating around in the memory bank up there anymore.
How about Larry Phillips? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
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 I thought he was 75.
But no, that's Terry. Well, he had a 66 Trop Arctic car one time, too. That was a 66.
Oh, my.
Yes.
I got you.
How about the driver of the Franklin Enterprise Henderson Amusement Millwood Plumbing, sponsor number 44, James, looking for his first ever Globe. That is Chris Madden. Chris Madden making his way down the front straightaway behind of him in the Clint Boyer Racing, iRacing.com, Rush Truck Centers, DeKalb Seed, sponsor number 14. That is Josh Richards. Josh Richards in the 14. Also on the track just behind of him is the Quiet Riot. In the number 12 out of Fairbury, Illinois, the Edelman Electric Carrier A+ vacuum sponsor number 12. It's Jeff Curl. Jeff Curl, the former modified standout in the number 12. A few other drivers on the track for this hot lap session include the driver out of Frankfort, Illinois, in the 99. That is Frank Heckeness Jr. Frank Heckeness Jr. in the St. Louis Shoe Pick Apart sponsored number 99. Also on the Speedway in the 25Z. That is Mason Ziegler. Mason Ziegler in the JLE Industries sponsored number 25Z. Austin Kirkpatrick back there behind of him in that home-built AK Race Cars number 11. Again, that is Austin Kirkpatrick in the 11. And James, one car behind of him, Heartbreak Hotel here 1 year ago in the Intercontinental Classic. That is Kyle Strickler in the Donaldson Grading G-Style Transport Andy's Towing sponsored number 8. Travis Stemler behind him has had a real good year. The Michigan driver with 10 wins on the season, including a career-high $10,000 payday. And that Chad Anklamone, Great Lakes Directional Drilling Helm Electric sponsored number 4. A few other drivers on the track in the Wilkie Mackey Racing sponsored number 29. That is Caleb Burgess. Caleb Burgess in the 29. The 23, Corey Hedgecock. He's had a good year in the Easy Go Budget Transmissions Olin Shock sponsored number 23. Those are the drivers on the track, James, for this next session of Hot Laps. Brandon Shepard, the quickest driver in warm-ups with a 1.5602. Winner's share of the 50-50 is up over $10,000 already. If you are watching at home, live on Flow Racing, and you are within the state of Ohio, you can purchase these very same 50-50 tickets at Eldora5050.com.
All right, it's still Shepard, Davenport, Overton, Bronson here in Group A. Again, 40 cars will be in Group A, 40 in Group B. Madden into the wall, the runner up here.
Oh, no.
The second Dream, and he's got some damage not only the right front, but the right rear. And that Dry Dean 44, so a rough start to the weekend. Oh, man. Remember that a couple of years ago? Was that at the World of the Dream where he was scheduled to start on the pole? Maybe the car would not fire.
It would not fire.
And back when he was on that roll with Scott Bloomquist.
Well, Ben, I talked to Chris Madden just a little bit earlier on tonight, and he was understandably very excited and very much looking forward to tonight. But getting that right side damage on the car, he has put himself behind the 8 ball early in the going here this evening.
Yeah, we're waiting for him to make his way down to the pit areas. Again, they did have some confidence. They're another team the second half of the year has not gone the way they would like. 5 wins on the year, but a lot of that came early, and now they started their behind the 8 ball. The good news is they got a little bit of time to rebuild it, but I'm looking at this car coming down through here. There is a ton of right side damage. They're going to have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, he just hopes he doesn't knock the rear clip off of that thing. And you see there, it's cattywampus there in the back, as Michael Norris would call it. So Madden second in the World of Outlaw Late Model Series points. You see the right front tire as well down.
And Chris Madden brings it down to pit road, and yeah, he's knocked the right side of that deck out. Definite right front damage on the race car. Backing it in might not be just terrible, but they're definitely gonna have some sheet metal work to do. The Henderson Amusement, Billy Franklin Enterprises, number 44, Todd Pruitt down there from the Franklin team, and they're all gonna go to work on it, get it ready for qualifying, guys. Qualifying weighed so heavy here, you can't afford to not go out there and at least have a time, but you want a good time too, because you want good points to start the weekend.
Well, Ben, that's a good segue into talking about how things are working here over the course of the next 2 days, and we'll lay things out for you here tonight. Is that concluded the hot laps for Group A. So drivers draw pills whenever they make their way through the gate. At that point, they are separated into Group A and Group B. The first half of the field, or the first half of the pill draws, that's Group A. That's about 40 cars. The second half of the field with 80 entries on hand, or the second 40 cars, that is Group B, James. For the rest of the night, those two fields are split for the rest of the evening. Group A will qualify against each other here in just a little bit. They will run heat races against each other, a B main against each other, and then they will run this evening's A feature against each other. Group B will do the same thing. They will hot lap against each other. They will qualify against each other. They will run a B feature against each other, and they will run the A main against each other a little bit later on. So we have two $10,000 to win A features a little bit later on this evening, guys.
Guys, we're not going to bug Chris because he's going to work on the car, but if we look at the right front of the nose, they pulled a lot of mud off. And you got to wonder that a lot of teams had trouble back at the Baltus Classic with the nose digging in the corner. You got to wonder if either he got into that cushion or if he got in there and the nose just buried, and that's what resulted in the damage. But a lot of mud on the right front nose of this number 44.
And again, the overall point man for the night, they will spin the wheel of misfortune, as you call it, right, at the end of the night.
The wheel of misfortune.
To determine the invert for the heat races here tomorrow night for the 51st World 100, 54,000 to win.
Should we set the, should we tell them how heat races, well, I see the next group of hot laps pulling out. I don't know.
It may take a while.
It does indeed take a while, yes.
Hey, one other thing, guys. We got expert input down here from Randy Weaver. He said that mud was up there in the steering column. It probably locked up on him when the car dug in. He couldn't turn, got into the wall. So thanks to Randy Weaver for that piece of insight.
If Randy Weaver said it, James, I believe it.
Well, we can't disprove him because the four of us don't have one iota of the talent that Randy Weaver has. So I'm going to believe him, but they were pulling mud out of the steering. So you got to think that's what happened. Maybe the car bottomed out and he lost all steering on the 44.
Hey, Ben, did you text Randy Weaver this week and ask him how many wins he had on the year?
Well, I know he's got at least 5 or 6. And, at one point, he was going to race this weekend, and then he said he wanted to give Brandon Overton a chance to win. That was the last I heard.
Well, there's Steve Casebolt at the heartbreak here on Sunday night, leading the Baltus Classic. Broke a bird cage in that Suds C9.
You like saying that?
I do. With the Z. Out of Rocket Chassis out of Richmond, Indiana. Former Dirt Late Model Dream winner, driving for the legendary, our good friend Dale Beitler. We miss him, don't we? Seeing him around the racetrack.
Yes, we do.
Shane Clinton also
Not only
out
at the
there.
racetrack, we've seen him other places, too.
We have seen him. We have seen him other places. Shane Clinton out of Zebulon, Georgia, the 25 car, the Skyline Motorsports capital. Kyle Hammer.
Yes.
Son of Don Hammer. Put the hammer on him out of Clinton, Illinois in the 45 car. There you see Casebolt. Also out there, John Hodgkiss, former PPMS Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania Motor Speedway track champion in car 69. He's out of Kennedy Township, Pennsylvania.
I caught up with John Hodgkiss a little bit earlier.
Johnny Huck, a.k.a. Johnny Huck. What's on the front of his car? Can I? Oh, never mind.
I'm not sure. I
I'm
don't
not
know
sure.
what's on it. I'm not sure if we could say it on the air, even if I did know what was on it.
G.R. Smith out
Yes.
there. How about G.R. Smith?
G.R. Smith, one win on the year, picked up that Southern All-Stars win. I talked to him earlier on, and he said he's only raced about 10 times this year. He said he ought to have about 5 or 6 wins. Of course, you talk about Casebolt's Heartbreak Hotel here on Sunday. Let's not forget the heartbreak that G.R. Smith had at Virginia Motor Speedway earlier this year, leading that $20,000 to win event.
Yeah, those opportunities sometimes don't come along. Right now, Stephen Roberts, the fastest honeybee, the 111 Rocket.
He's the fastest driver on the track right now as well, James, with 159.54. There's a look at Greg Satterley. 9 wins on the season for the Indiana, Pennsylvania driver. Got a career best 9th in the Dirt Late Model Dream here back in June.
Won at Port Royal last Saturday night.
Yeah, the Renninger Memorial. That was 63-33 to win.
Yes, sir. Dustin Nobby out there in Batesville, Indiana. The Ted Nobby Rocket, Ryan King, and the Warrior, the Brian King Warrior. Mike Knuckles entry out of Seymour, Tennessee, and Mike Provenzano out of Marseilles, Illinois. The M27, son of the Hall of Famer, Little John Provenzano. I just love saying Little John Provenzano.
He said you can say both, right?
There you go. Stephen Roberts.
Out there, the 45 car on the Speedway, Kyle Hammer. That's a Longhorn race car that they got from Cody Evans, and they're getting all their equipment ready to make a run at that World of Outlaws Rookie of the Year title next year. And the hauler they're in, they just picked it up this week from Rick Eckert, the famous 03 Ray Vest hauler that Kyle Hammer has here this weekend. Big piece of history sitting down at the inside of turn number 3.
I saw that. There's only one iconic orange trailer, James.
That's it.
Well, also Ben and Michael and another famous hauler in the back in the parking, back in the camping area.
It's just
Big Blue.
He's drinking.
Big Blue, the C.J. Rayburn semi.
Yes, I saw that.
Kevin Green, Crystal Kennedy, they refurbished that and they towed up here with that. So I'm sure C.J.'s quite happy. Carl Jerome got to be happy over that. So good to see Big Blue making a trip to Eldora.
That's cool. I did.
Yeah. That's awesome. Now they didn't do the trailer. The trailer's still in Whiteland, but great job, Kevin Green and everybody there that had a part in that, and they've been working on that for a long time.
It was pretty
Next
awesome.
Group. Yes, sir.
Go ahead. You want me to get it?
Well,
Jason Pavich is.
How about
the
Jason
driver.
Pavich?
Yeah.
How about the announcement here in the last week? Now, he's got right. They don't have. EPJ's new car done yet. Now, they do have a car up in the holler just in case Earl Pearson Jr. may have a funeral to go to at the end of the week, or he may come and he may race the backup car. We're not sure yet. But
there's an opportunity that could happen Friday and Saturday.
It could. And Jason Pavich out of Napomo, California, a regular on the Lucas Oil MLR. They keep the car out in Camdenton, Missouri, by the way. Here you see the Lucas Cattle Company sponsored 91P.
Other drivers on the track, James. How about the year this young man has had in the Whitehead Construction Stan Company Equipment, Estes Brothers Construction number 83? That is Jensen Ford. Jensen Ford in 83. Behind of him, blue. He's got the blues, baby. It's Mike Marlar in the Ronnie Delco Equipment, Tri-Rivers Enterprise, RNS Equipment Sales and Rental sponsored number 157. It's a Longhorn. Yes. It is a Longhorn this week. Boom Briggs also on the track in the 99B. Boy, another driver that has had a phenomenal year. I don't know if we get a camera on him. He's at the end of the back stretch in that white and orange number 97. Michael Chilton, who has made his first ever appearance in the DirtOnDirt.com Top 25 poll. A spectacular year for the South Isaac, Kentucky driver in the number 97. And James, also a spectacular year. The driver right behind of him in the 71, the Double Down Motorsports. That is Martinsville, Indiana's Hudson O'Neill.
Yeah, the best year of his career so far. In that rocket chassis, Cornet powered entry.
Also on the track, current Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series points leader in the 39 T-Mac, Tim McCready out of Watertown, New York, and Meridian, Mississippi, Spencer Hughes, and the PPC Motorsports number 11. And James right on cue. Spencer Hughes goes to the top of the leaderboard at hot laps with a 1:5.526.
Started driving this car for Craig and Shannon Sims back the first part of June. Got his first win for them here on Sunday night in the Baltas Classic. In that Longhorn Cornet powered number 11. And Michael and Ben, Spencer Hughes is going to be a superstar. He's only 20 years old. His crew guys are 18 and 19.
You know, he's won in 3 different divisions this year. And, of course, his biggest win is in a street stock at the I-55 Nationals. He's won in a mod. He's won in a super late model. I think he's actually won in a crate, so 4. Wanted to touch real quick on Jason Pavich. Talked about him being here for the first time. They were not supposed to be here. Jason got ready to fly out after he raced on Sunday night at, I believe, Fayette County Speedway there in Illinois. Got to the airport, and they realized he'd bought the plane tickets for the wrong day, so he called the crew. He said, hey, we're already here. My wife's here. My kids are here. Let's go run Eldora for the first time. I think the plane ticket was like for the 20th of September. It wasn't even close. So that's how Jason Pavich ended up here, Mike Norris.
Yeah, real quick, Ben. I think Jensen Ford, you guys were talking about him, has got a great season going out of Piney Flats, Tennessee. And a driver, the best mullet in the South. The only driver in the pits that may rival your hair, Ben, is Jensen Ford out of Piney Flats, Tennessee. Come down and check out the fastest mullet in the South.
You just made Greg Satterley mad. You left him out of the hair conversation. Come on, guys.
Wow. But how... This is straight out of the Bishop Sycamore playbook right here, James. Like, how do you get the plane ticket for the wrong... How does Bishop Sycamore end up on TV? How do you get the plane ticket for the 3rd week of September?
You know they just signed Cam Newton this week. So
I heard that, yeah. Yeah. Is an Ohio native and a fan of high school football. I just throw my arms up in the air and say, what? Ben Shelton, go ahead.
The good news, Dustin, is that Jason Pavich is really a race car driver. That was not really a team that was on ESPN.
No, I have been to the OHSA state championships many, many times. Bishop Sycamore has never... Go ahead, James.
So if they don't have a team or a school, then the coach got fired. Who fired the coach then?
I think they got a school, but like there's got to be red flags that come up. So like when IMG, who is one of the top programs in the country, and again I'm a fairly big. I don't know a lot about anything. First off, if I'm power ranking the things that I know something about, high school football is somewhere inside the top 10. I would say if IMG is doing their scouting, at some point that's got to come across the radar, right?
Nobody fact-checked that thing, did they?
They certainly did not, no.
Spencer Hughes right now here in Group B. Tim McCready, Stephen Roberts, Mike Marlar. The top 4. As the next group out on the track, there's Rick Eckert. Glad to see him back. And that Alan Murray rocket chassis, the dried-in Zero out of York, Pennsylvania for the Hall of Famer.
How about the summer Ashton Winger has had, James?
Yeah, and he's in the Danny Hatcher Team Zero.
Yeah, that
co-power entry. Yes, sir.
Ashton Winger's had a good summer. He finished 2nd in the Summer Nationals points. He's got 9 wins on the year. And that Hatcher car, it doesn't matter who's driving it, Nick Hoffman or whoever, that Hatcher car seems to run really, really well here in Eldora. So I'm kind of anxious to see how that pairing does here.
Hoffman's driven it. Jason Jameson has driven it. Dustin Linville, the Rooster's driven it.
Yes.
And now Winger drove it here Sunday night. So right now still Spencer Hughes, Jimmy Owens up to 5th, and that Ramirez Rocket number 20.
15526, the quick time for Spencer Hughes. Just hot laps doesn't pay anything, but it can parlay into possibly a good mental boost, James, if nothing else, as it looks like the final group of drivers about to make their way out on the track for hot laps.
Good to see Mark Whiten here, the veteran out of Middleburg, Florida. Of course, Braden Super and that Augie Bertram. If Augie's watching tonight, best wishes to you. I know he's been
absolutely
had some health issues. Good to see Kenny Kennedy down there. He's having some health issues, so thoughts and prayers continue to him. Wayne Castleberry with the Lucas Oil Marketing Director. Thoughts and prayers to you guys. And, of course, Alan Tilley, our buddy Alan Tilley.
Yes.
DJ, I've known him over 20 years. You've known him about the same time. And glad to see that he has come home, and I hope he's watching tonight. And I just want to give you a shout-out and tell you we love you, buddy.
We absolutely do love you, Alan, and glad that you are back home. Glad you're feeling better. Next group of drivers have made their way out on the track. Among the drivers that you'll see on the Speedway for this hot lap session include the driver that has had a breakout year. 3 wins, James, of $22,000 or more in the Ty Touring Racing, C&W Trucking, Tommy Pope Construction, Big D's Pizza, and sub-sponsor number 9 out of Dresden, Ohio. That is Devin Moran. Behind him, the former Eldora Speedway Modified Rookie of the Year on the Pardos Towing, Nick's Plating, H2O Go, sponsor number 20M. That is Josh Morton. Josh Morton in the 20M. Also on the track, rolling to the inside of turns 1 and 2. Out of Moweaqua, Illinois, in the Petra Towing Dynagro Seed, CGI Piping and Fabrication sponsored number 18. It's the Moweaqua Michels, Shannon Babb. Also on the track, James, in the K car, the Kryptonite House car, the fastest ponytail in Dark County this weekend. Out of Parkersburg, West Virginia, it is Fast Freddie Carpenter. The Sniper Chassis of Ricky Weiss also on the track, and the Dryden Performance G-Style Transport, JMC Properties, Turk Enterprises.
Yes.
Sponsored, number 7.
Dave Turknowitz.
Dave Turknowitz, we miss you, brother. Hope everything's going well. The 29 and Daryl Lanigan of the Randy Thompson owned, Cornette-powered Randy Thompson Automotive, sponsored number 29. A few other drivers on. Ricky Weiss, James, not coming up to speed here on the front straightaway. Ricky Weiss slow on the front stretch. Looks like he might have a left rear tire down. That car's really kind of hunched over on the left side.
By the way, DJ, Shannon Babb, brand new Vic Hill power plant under that Team Zero car.
Vic actually picked the motor up himself and put it in the car.
Yeah. Nobody's made any advancement here.
Four-time Summer Nationals champion Brian Shirley out of Chatham, Illinois in the 3S, also on the track for that hot lap session. You're right, nothing has changed amongst the leaders in our final group of hot laps. Spencer Hughes will finish atop the leaderboard in warm-ups for Group B with a 155.26. Tim McCready, second quick with a 157.34. Stephen Roberts, the fastest honeybee, third quick with a 159.54. Mike Marlar, fourth quick, and Jimmy Owens is fifth quick in hot laps. That means absolutely nothing. It pays nothing, and drivers do not get points for it. But, James, drivers do get points from here on out every time they are on the racetrack in the Eldora Speedway exclusive Every Point Matters format. And what that means is they get points based on how well they qualify. They get points based on how well they run in their heat race. And, of course, they get points based on how well they finish tonight's feature event. Those points are used to determine the heat race lineups for tomorrow night's 6 traditional World 100 heat races. Those 6 heat races will be lined up by those points after tonight's high point man spins the Wheel of Misfortune.
And then we'll have 6 heats tomorrow night. We'll take the top 3, and in positions 19 and 20, you'll be reserved for the top 2 in the points who don't make it out of a heat race. They do not have to run a B main. And then we'll have B mains and then the scrambles tomorrow night, Dustin. In 24 hours.
Oh, yes.
The scrambles return, and the winner of those, in each of those, will go to tomorrow night's 51st World 100.
Scrambles are not something that we had back in the 90s when our next guest won 4 World 100s. If I'm not mistaken, Michael Orksby, I think he lapped the field one of those years. Is that right?
When we talk to him a little bit here, his most famous win at Eldora is obviously the